Hello all. In this lecture, we are going to study the measurements in water circuit. Up to last lectures, we have seen that how the power generation is affecting the costs of the design of the power plant systems, then how the fixed elements of cost are determined. Myself, Saman Wani, I'm going to post some videos regarding power plant instrumentation. Before learning this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. So hit the subscribe button for assisting the various engineering related videos. So the first point is measurements in water circuit. So for maintaining the operation of the thermal power efficiently and uninterruptedly, it is essential to have the stable water circulation system. So now we have generally know that during the boiler operation, the water is required at each and every stage of the particular operation of any systems. So the water, how much the water is to be circulated, what should be the pressure, temperature and flow of the water is more important study. So therefore the initial requirement is for the operation of thermal power plant, the stable water circulation system is required. Then automatic controls such as boiler drum level control, then superheated steam temperature control, steam bus pressure control, steam flow control, etc. are to be put in position. For all the above controls, the measurement of controlled and manipulated variable is essential. So here we know that how the measurement plays an important role in finding the efficiency of any particular power plant. So therefore these all power plants will the study of the power plants systems control variables will be important, and therefore we say that the measurement is more important of each and every condition. Then going to the next slide, the following measurements are considered. First is the water flow measurement. So in this also water flow measurement, you can see the types of water which we have seen already in the previous lectures, like raw water, then makeup water, condensate water, feed water and cooling water. Second is after water flow measurement, we require the measurement of steam. So that is steam flow measurement at various points. Then pressure measurements of steam, water, etc. at various points. Then temperature measurements of water and steam at various points, and level measurements in boiler drum and deaerator. So see, in feed water system, we are when we were located the feed water system circuit, we have seen that how the level measurement also plays a very important role. At the same time, these steam flow, water flow, pressure measurements and temperature measurements are to be taken into consideration. Going to the next slide, first we are going to take the flow measurement of water. So water flow measurement. The common methods of measurement of water flows in thermal power plant are using differential pressure head sensors such as orifice and venturimeter. So we know that this orifice and venturimeter are the devices which measure the discharge, or that is the flow rate of the particular water flow systems, or they also measure the pressure difference between the inlet and the outlet conditions. So the operating principle is that a reduction of pressure accompanies an increase in velocity. This velocity is increased by inserting a fitting, namely orifice or venturimeter, so which converges to a minimum section and then diverges to the normal pipe size. So see, for measurement of flow, we require some variable which should be the decrease in diameter or whether it is increase in diameter, so that there will be some changes in the velocity of water. So as the velocity of water changes, therefore we can measure the flow with the help of these mentioned meters. Then going to next slide, where there is one example for us, that is a installation, how the installation of a head flow meters are taken. So with the help of this diagram also we will understand that how the differential pressure transmitters are also available, and at the same time how the working takes place of the particular system. Now you can see here in this shaft, there is a shaft or a pipe is shown here, and at the 2 points there is the pressure tappings, means the point at which the pressure can be measured, and plus the water will be flowing through this center orifice. So as this orifice is there, there will be a reduction in the diameter of the water flow, so there will be a change in pressure, and at the same time there will be a change in velocity. So therefore, as change in velocity and pressure will take place, naturally we will get the flow measurement. So first point, primary elements of the head flow meter are an orifice, venturi, or any pitot tube or a differential transmitter, which is used to measure the differential head. So we can see that from the root walls, that is the pressure from the pressure tappings, the signal will be taken from the pressure tappings to the root walls, and therefore these root walls are connected to the equalizing walls, that is a three-way manifold, and this signal is transmitted to these transmitters, that is differential transmitters, and therefore the excess pressure which will be exerted can be drained with the help of these two walls, and at the same time actual this differential transmitter will measure the head produced at these tappings. So second point, pressure piping is the pipe which connects the pipe tappings of the head producers to the differential pressure transmitters. If the transmitter is to be located below the water pipeline, the pressure pipeline should be laid at a slope of not less than 1:10. So the slope of the line of the point which is connecting equalizing wall and root walls is mentioned up to 1:10 or 1 by 10. Then you can see this condition is the head flow meter having the horizontal systems. So during this horizontal arrangement here also again the piping pressure tappings and orifice root walls will be same. The way in which the pressure is passed from root walls to equalizing wall is different. Now these two lines, that is the air vessels which are shown, they are installed vertical. So what happens, we will see here, if the horizontal distance is too long to allow this slope by direct connection between the head producer, say orifice or the transmitter, then pressure pipes may be taken first and then risen above and then to the transmitter. So see that if the horizontal distance is too much, then to allow this slope by direct connection, it means that the distance is more between the pressure tappings and the system where the pressure is to be measured, so that the therefore the condition, that is a pressure from the pipes may be first risen above and then taken to the transmitter. If the transmitter is to be located above the water pipeline, the pressure pipe is first laid vertically downwards to a distance of about 0.5 meter in order to minimize the possibility of entrance of air or gas, etc. So while measuring this pressure, one condition is taken into account, that the air should not be influencing this type of system measurement for water flow. Then next is steam flow measurement. Steam flow measurements are done to know the steam generated by the individual boilers, total steam generated by the plant, steam consumed by the turbines, and other process steam requirements. Now see why steam flow measurements is important. It is important because the condition in the power system is that the boiler produces the steam. So how much quantity of the steam has been produced, how is the flow rate of the particular steam, what is the quality, what is the temperature of that particular steam, the measurement of the steam parameters, the parameters of all the steam is more requirement. So therefore first we are taking into consideration flow measurements. So this steam flow measurements is done to know the steam generated by the individual boilers. Then what is the total steam generated by the plant, because in a plant there may be n number of boilers in operation. And then in the steam power plant again there will be the turbines which actually consume the steam and produce the electrical power with their rotation. So therefore, and other process steam requirements are also measured. So the method used for steam flow measurement is almost same that is used for water flow measurements. The pressure piping will contain condensate. Condensate chambers or pots should be connected to the pressure taps of adequate size to supply enough condensate and to ensure equally high columns above the flow meter. Any excess condensate will drain back to the pipeline. So see that in this pressure piping, while measuring the steam, it will contain the condensate, and this condensate should be directly connected to the pressure taps, so that the actual amount of pressure or actual amount of flow at that point will be considered, or we can measure. Now this diagram will show you the two types, that is how the horizontal type of the steam flow measurement is done and a vertical type of steam flow measurement is done. So again, a horizontal pipe is taken here in first case, that is condensation pots at horizontal pipes, and you can see here that the steam is entering and it is flowing through orifice. So what happens is the particular steam which will be entering at this point, there are again the root walls. Root walls are placed at the inlet point of the orifice also and at the outlet point of the orifice, and the one space is connecting to the condensation pots, and second is connected to the DPTs, that is the differential again pressure transmitters. So what will happen is when the steam will flow from this particular orifice, there will be the change in the pressure points of the condensation pots and DPTs, and therefore we can measure that how much flow has been flow of the steam has been carried away from this point to the second point, that is condensation points to the DPTs. And when we considered as a vertical unit, when the steam is flowing in downward direction, so there from there we can see that condensation points and to DPT, from condensation points the flow will be different, and from condensation point it will reach to directly the DPTs directly. So basically one connection from pipe, that is from root wall again, and second connection directly from the steam which is going through the orifice to DPT. As in this horizontal case, we had an easy connection from steam input to condensation pot, from steam output to DPT. Here we have just inserted a pipeline which is connecting the outside of the steam, that is outside coming outgoing steam from the orifice to the DPT via the root wall. So there are two ways in which we can measure the condensation pods with the help of condensation pods of the flow of the steam. So steam flow measurement is having two categories. Then temperature and pressure correction factors. Now these two are more important. The density of steam is a function of both pressure and temperature. Measuring error can occur if the density in operation differs appreciably from design figures. So a correction factor has to be introduced. So see that while measuring, some errors can occur, like instrumental errors are there, then some observational errors are also there, relative errors are also there. So to overcome this error, a correction factor is introduced. So for correction factor of steam, that is, it is denoted by CF. It is the ratio of under root rho O divided by rho D, that is equal to under root PO into TD divided by PD into TO. So see where PO, TO and rho O are the operating pressure, temperature and density, and the design values are there which are denoted by the PD, TD and rho D. So basically these symbols are related to D denotes the design values and O denotes the actual operating variables. Now, how does temperature and pressure corrections will take place? The correction computation can be built in as an integral part of the DPT, or we can do it separately. So we can see here that if it is in inbuilt computation, so here the steam flowing will be sent to DPT, then from TT and PT directly we can send it to DPT and the output signal we can take, or we can keep it as a separate unit. Suppose, so here we can see the computation is done by a separate unit. So the FT will give the value of steam, PT will give another value, TT will give us the third value, and then denoting with the help of the equation which we have seen of the correction factor, we can get the output of the particular system. So basically these all concepts related to steam and water flow measurement are very important. Basically this will consist of the measurement of other factors also. This system acts as a base for the other factors, which is steam pressure measurement, water temperature measurement, etc. All these processes will be used for the systems which are connected to one another and which measure each and every part of a power plant. So while designing a power plant, we are seeing one by one concept. If you refer the previous videos, all the power plant instrumentation factors which we have taken into consideration are mostly used. So these videos are linked to one another. So it is advise to all of you that you should follow all the videos from time to time.